From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Well, so far it's been a dry and mild start to the work week. The clouds have moved in today, but these clouds are going to bring us any rainfall, at least for today. Tomorrow, that's going to be a bit of a different story. And it's going to take a while before it actually gets here. But Wednesday night into Thursday, that's really going to be the big main event when we have the heaviest rainfall, the strongest winds, even snow in the higher elevations. I do expect gusty winds and snow as low as about 5,000 to 6,000 feet. However, that being said, it could get a little locally lower than that, maybe around 4,500 feet in some spots here. We'll talk about that here in just a bit. Here's your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance for the rest of the day today. Mostly cloudy skies, but it is going to be a dry day, and temperature is going to be a little bit cooler than yesterday as a result. So looking at the satellite image, the clouds that we're seeing are actually coming from an area of low pressure to our south and west. Those clouds are filtering in Northern California. The cold front to our west is associated with that band of clouds off to our west as well. Behind that cold front, you've got cold and unstable air. That's the speckled clouds. So that cold and unstable air is what's going to bring us a chance for showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. But of course, in advance of that, as the cold front pushes through, periods of heavy rainfall and those gusty winds, and that timing looks to be sometime around late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. So let's walk you through the timing of that with Futurecast. So there you can see the mostly cloudy skies that we're seeing, but it's dry, and mainly just the high and mid-level clouds that we've seen here. Now, in advance of the storm system, as it kind of moves in closer, there are going to be a couple of very weak waves or impulses that'll push through. Some of these may bring us a few sprinkles, maybe a light shower as we go through the afternoon on Wednesday, and really for everyone is looking at chance. But if you look off to the west at 5 p.m. Wednesday, still the main band of rain is still pretty far off to our west. So really nothing all that significant should we see any shower activity here Wednesday afternoon. There's midnight as we go into Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Now the main band of rain is basically from the valley westward. And you can see periods of heavy rainfall, and this is when we see those gusty winds. Now we'll eventually push to the east, and heavier rainfall now kind of the north end of the valley eastward, just east of the valley at 8 o'clock Thursday morning. Now what you'll notice, first of all, is that you do have the bands of heavy rainfall. Number two, not a lot of blue on the map, which indicates snow levels are still fairly high. But as we get behind the cold front, which is where you're seeing the drier trend, behind that cold front is colder air. So we'll see showers and thunderstorms, and colder air moves in, and as a result, snow levels drop. But as I mentioned, on average, somewhere around 5,000 feet, locally lower in some spots here. Now with the colder and unstable air in place, I do expect to see a chance for thunderstorms for the valley, to the north of the valley, and west of the valley, working its way to the coast as well. That's the best chance for thunderstorms. Now, we're also seeing the potential for a convergence line developing around the Redding area. Once again, why? Because of the strong, gusty winds. And when we have the strong winds associated with rain, we can many times see that convergence line develop around the Redding area. So we'll have to watch for that potential. Then as we go into Thursday night, that all pushes to the east. A little bit of activity east of the valley for Thursday night. And then Friday, this is something I talked about with previous forecast model runs. This particular model was being a little aggressive with this band of rain coming through on Friday. It's now more in line with what I've been kind of thinking with this, and that is it's going to break apart before it makes its way inland. So places along the coast on Friday, places around Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, yeah, maybe a chance for a straight sprinkle or light shower. Some of those may try to work their way into the valley as well on Friday, but don't count on much, really, if anything, for the valley eastward. And then it looks like a bit of a break for Saturday, and then late Sunday into Monday, maybe another round of rain. Now take a look at the forecast rain totals. This is the forecast, these are estimates. The forecast models have been really going all over the place with these numbers. If you watched my morning update, Redding was only looking at about 7/10 of an inch of rainfall through Thursday night into Friday morning. Now it's closer to 2 inches. So here's my overall projections for the valley, and I'm going to kind of bump it up. I was thinking somewhere around an inch, give or take, for the valley. I'd say now it's going to be about an inch to an inch and a half for the valley. Now, there are some spots, as you can see around Willows and Red Bluff, for example, there may be a few spots in the valley that may be shy of that 1 inch mark, but I'd say about an inch to upwards of an inch and a half. Now, I do think it's underplaying the coast. The coast is closer to almost 3 inches at one point. Now it's closer to 1.3. So I'd say about 2 inches, 2.5 inches. I'd say 1.5 to 2.5 inches for parts of the coast. And then for the mountains, mainly 1 to 2 inches is what I'm expecting there. And then for, say, Modoc County, Lassen County, that's where we're going to see less. Let's talk about the snow now. Snow levels, as mentioned, are going to be fairly high, generally above 5,000 feet. There's actually a winter storm watch for the eastern mountains. This is going to be mainly for elevations above 5,000 feet. And at that elevation above 5,000 feet, 4 to 8 inches of snow is possible. So some of the higher mountain passes may run into a few problems with delays and chain requirements over the higher mountain passes. Now, above the mountain passes, as you get above, say, 7,000, 8,000 feet, now you're talking upwards of 1 to 2 feet of snow. And on top of that, gusty winds. So let's take a look at the forecast snow totals. And this is going to take you through Thursday night and into Friday. Now, we're still seeing the potential around Chester at about 4,500 feet, seeing maybe a little trace amounts of snow. But again, you're going to have to go mainly above 5,000 feet before you start seeing anything significant in that accumulation. As we go to Scott Mountain Pass on Highway 3, kind of northern Trinity County, working its way into Siskiyou County, you may see some snow there. I think we'll see some snow on Cedar Pass as well. But otherwise, again, you're going to have to go above 5,000 feet before you really start seeing any of that snow. And by the way, if you're going to be traveling in the Sierra, maybe going to South Lake Tahoe or anything like that, we're getting in the 1 to 2 foot range here. Again, mainly above 7,000, 8,000 feet. So some of the higher mountain passes do anticipate, especially in the northern Sierra southward, for the potential for delays and chain requirements. Again, over those mountain passes, mainly above 5,000 feet. Just be aware of that for your Wednesday night, for your Thursday, and possibly into Friday morning. Now, as we go into Friday, not much going on, is there? Mainly to the south, some showers. We go into Saturday, a bit of a break. Now, Sunday evening into Monday, we may see another round of showers push in. And it's not just this model that's showing it, but even the European forecast model is showing that potential as well. Now, with this Wednesday night system, we do have a high wind watch basically for Wednesday night. Now, where I expect the strongest winds will be the highest mountain ridge tops. And you can see in central Siskiyou County, Modoc County, gusts from the south, possibly upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. But say places like the valley, for example, and the coast, I'd say the coast about 40 to 50 and the valley about 35 to 45 miles per hour. Now, again, as we go into this evening, not an issue, right? But then through the day on Wednesday, the winds will start to pick up. And then you can see they really ramp up in the overnight hours. And we are seeing the potential for gusts over 40 miles per hour for the valley. But when we think about last week's storm system, we did see peak gusts over 50 miles per hour for parts of the valley and over 60 miles per hour as we head out towards the coast. Winds, I think this time around, for the most part, won't be as strong. We probably won't see as many power outages, but we still have the potential with strong gusts to see broken tree branches and maybe a few power outages. And with the rain, by the way, we saw a lot of rock slides, mudslides, and debris flows. I think we'll see less of that as well, but we're not out of the woods with that. So still some dangers to be associated with this storm. I just don't think it's going to be as intense as the one last week. But you'll still feel it. You'll still feel those gusty winds and heavy rain at times. And then the wind should subside as we take you through the day on Thursday and in particular on Friday. Although with Friday's system trying to come in, that may pump up those winds a little bit here along the coast Friday afternoon. All right, so for today, temperatures low to mid 70s in the valley, 60s for most of the higher elevations, and probably somewhere in the low to mid 60s for the coast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, temperatures about 50 in the valley, upper 30s, low 40s for the mountains, and low 50s for the coast, but still dry under mostly cloudy skies here for tonight. Your 7-day forecast for the valley, chance for thunderstorms behind that main band of rain Wednesday night. Maybe a chance on Friday, but I think most of it will be to the west of the valley on Friday. I think a break on Saturday, a break for the most part on Sunday, but by Sunday evening into Monday, a chance for showers. For the coast, you've got showers and thunderstorms Wednesday night, Thursday possibility, and then Friday, maybe some showers again. I think everyone's going to see a bit of a break on Saturday before maybe some more showers late in the day, Sunday into Monday. For Mount Shasta, I got your snow levels 5,500 feet. Chance for showers on Friday. Don't count on much. A break on Saturday, then maybe Sunday evening into Monday, a chance for some showers. All right, that's your afternoon update. I'll be back again at 6 o'clock this evening for a much more detailed look at your forecast with your deeper dive at 6 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.
Barr & Mudford is a top established firm here in the North State. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the North State. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.